Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the stream. Trying to get somewhere with this painting. Hopefully we get far enough along to actually finish this thing. I was just working on the missiles and the ships up here. I mean, that's mostly what's left. That's like the big stuff. So I'm gonna try and get through it tonight. I hope I can make some good progress through it. I think I'll be able to. As always, do you have any questions, anything like that, comments, whatever, feel free to drop it in the chat, tag me, and I'll answer as I go.
End of pattern. Acknowledge.
Right. Mostly just trying to make sure that all these sections are looking all right. Have all like these kind of blocked out areas where the edges are a little too hard. So I'm cleaning those up. What's the dragon's name? Phalanx. That's his name. All right.
Perfectly normal at this stage, Captain. Do you have a visual?
It's okay.
Stand by for thread 1 of alpha memory pattern.
All right. Let me just make sure that there's no weird hidden gaps in this ship over here. I can start working on it. Okay, let's lock this layer. I'm just going to use colors from the robot to paint this stuff up. What's the biggest muse you've ever found? The biggest one? That's such a, you know, in all reality, that's a really funny thought, Kim. Because whenever I hear people talk about like a muse, like I think that like I think of like, you know, artists who think of themselves as artists, but I like never understood like what that actually meant. Like when I started, I never, like my muse when I was like starting in all reality was just the fear of completely failing and having nothing. Which is like not this beautiful romantic muse idea that other people have. That was like my whole inspiration was like not being a loser in how I considered, you know, how I would consider myself to be one if I failed. But at this point, and I'm not just saying this because you asked, but at this point, it's you and the boys. But it's funny because I don't relate art to, I would say like muse in that sense, and I know you're being sarcastic. But like muse in that sense to me is more like my day-to-day, like what makes me happy, what makes me want to do anything. And that's just you and the boys. Without like a purpose, I never want to do anything for myself. I wouldn't be pushing so hard to do all the different projects I'm doing if I didn't have you guys. That's true. I wish I thought of art as that sort of thing, or at least I wish I could understand that thing that other people have, that relationship to art. I feel like for me, art's like a vehicle to deliver like a end thing, you know? It's like, this is a thing I know I want to do. My ability is the way to get it there. I just don't care too much about art. I just want to make stuff. Which I guess means that I care a lot about art. But I mean art in terms of specifically painting. Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much to me. It's more about like the overall content of it. Why am I even doing it? I'm excited to be able to turn this stream back into like a comics drawing stream. I think that's going to be the next thing I do after I finish painting this. Is just go right into doing the comics. I'm getting way more fulfillment out of doing comics than any of this sort of thing. How do you know when to abandon a piece and when to hang in there? If I ever liked it and the reason I'm considering abandoning is because I'm bored, I know that's not a good reason to abandon it. So I'll just stick with it and finish it. I mean, that's most of it, is that it's just being conscious of like, why do I feel like abandoning it? But I think it's important just to finish things. So I try not to abandon stuff. Most of the things that I've abandoned, if I'm being honest, are because like the whole reason I was doing the piece in the first place was to learn a particular approach to painting. And then I figured it out somewhere else, and then to redo the whole painting with the new approach would be too much effort, and I already know that the way I started it was a bit too clumsy. So then I will just move on to the next thing, because I never was like married to the image itself. I didn't really care for that. It was more that I was trying to learn while I was doing it. And I don't want to do just, you know, whatever useless work after the fact just to have this thing be done. But that's, you know, my own personal thing. However, I'm working on something at the time. That's usually what happens. I heard that Akira Yoshida's next Garfield comic's going to be dropping on Sunday on the Matt and Shane Secret podcast. It's pretty wild. Hopefully Akira Yoshida makes it through this one unscathed. I know those comics are risky. It's a risky business to get involved in. Do I plan on finishing that FF7 piece? I probably could now. The worst part about that image was the Sephiroth. It was coming out really bad. And that was kind of the thing that I stopped working on. I was just looking at it and being like, God, this face sucks. That's what the holdup was on that one, because otherwise it was pretty far along. If I ever feel it in me to go back and do that, I will. What's the most frustrated I've been on a piece, and how did you deal with that? The most frustrated that I ever get on something is usually around like a client. Like for me, at least at this stage right now, when I'm working on something for somebody, like it's I like, or at least for me anyway, I fairly like, I don't know, I understand what I'm doing, and I know that there's like a frustration period where shit's gonna be just tedious and boring for a while, just like rendering out texture and getting everything, like the stage I'm at right now, right? Like on this piece that you're looking at, it's like this whole image started as a joke, and now I'm however many hours into this joke image, right? There's nothing about this that's anything that I like have to do, you know? Like I'm not, it's not something like that's important for any reason. It's just some personal thing that I'm doing just for fun. But I'm not going to give up, even if it's frustrating and annoying, because it is just like this silly thing. And I know that like when it's done, it'll be just this weird pulpy looking image that I do, and it'll be fun to post and share with people. But the stuff that I like get actually frustrated by, that makes me want to quit, it doesn't happen so much anymore because I have, you know, a decent amount of experience. But early on in my career, it was always the clients that just asked for things over and over again, changes and whatever else, and you'd get so frustrated doing that kind of shit because you can only do so many revisions on the same thing and have any form of motivation to keep going. And like, especially when you don't really even know like what's wrong with what you're doing, and you just kind of getting frustrated with yourself trying to figure it out. Those types of jobs are the jobs that like I think of when I think of being frustrated with something and wanting to quit. It's always that. It's rarely my personal stuff. If I'm ever frustrated with my personal stuff, it's more because I'm bored than anything else. But in terms of like early days, like the very beginning, I always knew that the frustration I felt, generally speaking, when I was working, had to do with a limit in my knowledge. So, you know, I imagine it would be similar to like the frustration somebody feels when they're trying to like, I don't, it's hard to relate this if you don't have kids, but you probably can understand this from this perspective. It's like when you have a kid and they're learning how to speak, and they know what they want to say, or like they know the idea of what they want to say, but they don't have the words for it because they don't know how to speak yet. You can just see the frustration on their face. It's like heartbreaking because you're like watching, your child try desperately to find the words to say what they want to say, but they can't get there. And I would say that that's similar to how it feels when you know that there's like an idea in your head that you want to express through painting, but you don't have the skill or ability to show that yet. And you just feel this like, God damn it, like if I could just fucking do this, it would be awesome. I used to feel that sort of frustration. But then I'd know that I just need to stick to my studies, and then I'd stick to my studies, and I would work harder and harder, and I'd always think about where I'm going with each piece and like the point of what I'm doing, what I'm trying to learn, and then I'd move on. Oh, let me see. Let me scroll up in the chat a little bit. Congrats to Yoshida, where the dog's talking about it. Yeah, a bit. Let's see. What's the longest you committed to a bit? Good question. I'm still in some. From high school to this day. As a joke once, well, this kid was trying to be funny. I was in high school and this kid, Dan Ackman, I think his name was. I asked him, I was like, what time is it? And he said, time to get a watch. And I said, I'm never talking to you for the rest of my life. And then I never talked to him for the rest of my life. That's a bit that I stuck with. Never broke that bit. I just thought it'd be funny if I never did ever again. Dave, any advice on a following that want you to draw only one thing? I find this happening to me frequently. Yeah, become the person who doesn't draw only one thing, you know? You're gonna have to let some people down, and you're gonna have to, you know, like let's say you're not proficient at the other thing that you want to do, but you're roped into sticking to this idea of who you are to all these people. It's like, that's cool for the moment, but what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be something for all these people, or are you trying to be you? If you're the type of person that isn't, you know, into just doing the same shit over and over again, then maybe you need to just do what you like. And if you lose some people who follow you for whatever else, then that's what you do. But honestly, you got one life. Don't waste it trying to make other people happy all the time, you know? That's not what it's about. More or less, I would say, you know, if you want to evolve, you're gonna need to look silly in front of people. If you truly need to be in front of people while you grow and learn, then, you know, that's just gonna be the natural course of things. What's the thought process of just coming up with a jet like that? I don't know if there is one. I'm just thinking about the lighting, and then I'm like working through the design and trying to figure out what's a design that repeats throughout this whole thing, and that's pretty much it. I'm thinking that like it just needs to be serviceable. It doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be something that you don't look at and go, ugh. That's all I'm thinking about. Because at this point, the jet is very, very tertiary. It's not meant to be a focal point. It's just one of this whole barrage coming at the dragon. Yeah, after a certain point, I just got to be done. It doesn't mean I rush it or make it look like shit. I just have to make it look like it didn't completely fumble. I mean, I haven't even color adjusted any of these yet or done like soft light or anything like that, adjustment layers. So I'm not too worried about it. I think it's coming along just fine. Trying to lose some edges here. Not have it be super sharp everywhere for an object that's not so important. And is also flying through the air quickly. I don't need it to read as very, very sharp. It doesn't make any sense if I do that. next thing I'll do, like after I render all this stuff up, is I will paint it up in Photoshop a little bit. I've been listening to this book called The Fisherman. It's a horror novel. It's pretty good if you're into horror books. It's a nice one. It's not like super quick. It doesn't get like immediately into the action. There's a lot of character work, similar to like how Stephen King does it. But it ends up going, when it starts moving, it starts moving. And it's not a super long book. It's only like 260 pages or something like that. Oh yeah, I'm not listening to it, I'm reading it. Did I say I was listening to it? Yeah, it's really good. I was trying to think of how I could talk about it without spoiling it. But it's a cool perspective on fishing for things you've lost. It's a neat book. I think I like it a little bit more than I liked Between Two Fires. That's another kind of horror book that I read. Between Two Fires feels like somebody played too much video games and then wrote a fantasy book. It feels like I'm watching a battle take place between two characters in a video game. Versus The Fisherman, which feels like this very personal thing. It's nice. Yeah, once I have that first fighter kind of figured out, then I can paint the other ones with a bit more speed because I know the colors. The first one's always the most annoying because I gotta figure it out. What am I even doing? But once I have that kind of locked in, it becomes a bit easier to do the rest. She's making me sleepy. Let me open up my loop back. Let's play the dangerous game. Gotta go back to the origins of this painting. Oh, that's funny. One of these missiles doesn't even have a tail. did I play? Rebirth? Yeah, I didn't beat it. I got pretty far. I think, where did I stop? I got until like the, just after you get the buggy. After the gold saucer and all that. I thought it was cool. I mean, some of the stuff is a little corny to me, like all the stuff that feels very Kingdom Heartsy. The stuff I'm not crazy about. All those dudes in cloaks walking around. Do you separate your time in the day to focus on a specific area and then finish it, or do you like putting brushstrokes all around the illustration and having all of it finished at once? I do the whole painting in stages. So I'll do the sketch completely, I'll do lines completely, watercolor washes, that sort of thing completely, and then move on from there to like finals and all that stuff. I was wondering what happened. Yeah, it's fine. So at this stage, I'm just at the final part really of going around and painting everything. And then refinement and whatever else will come after this. But yeah, so I'm just going section by section and finishing everything off. Yeah. How goes the painting? It's going. I'm just trying to get through to the other side. We're in the home stretch though, so I'm not sweating it too much. I just gotta get it done. I mean, it's such a stupid painting that, you know, it's fine. It just needs to be done. Committing to these long-term joke paintings is something though. Not that there's anything I'd rather do. There's not, I mean, as far as paintings go, there's not like a painting I would rather do. I like doing these kind of things. But I want to get back to doing comics on the stream. I'm itching to do something different. So that'll be the next bit that we do regularly. I'll do it like I did with the previous Veil comic, except I'll probably do Star Veil next. That'll be a lot easier than writing joke comics, I'll tell you that much. Excited for that. It won't be easy, just easier than that. Guys, this is so close. We're so close to being done. Are you and Dan and Kim ever going to do a comic review where you have people on the Patreon make comics and put them up on your Discord? I know you're busy with kids and stuff, but that would be great. Comic review of people's comics. We did a comic challenge. We did that. But I mean, I would, you know, if somebody really wanted to do that with their own comic, I don't know what value I can bring to that. I'm not like an expert, but I'd be happy to help with something like that on the stream. Would I ever stream a traditional painting? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if I would. I have so much stuff. If I ever get through all my comics and things that I have to make, and I'm feeling like I can just chill and do nothing and not feel crazy pressure to do something else, then I would love to like relax and not feel like I have this thing that I'm itching to do in the background that I haven't done yet. That's usually what happens to me, is I just feel like this mounting pressure in the background whenever I'm doing something like this, where I go, ooh, you're supposed to be doing something else. problem is I already committed to doing this, so now I have to finish it. Sometimes you have to do stuff that you don't necessarily want to do in order to figure out how you could better spend your time. As I think, like, I was looking for purpose, and I was trying to find it in painting again. And like, this is fine, you know? Like, I can do this stuff, and like, I'm adept at it, whatever. But it's not my whole thing. It's not my whole world. I think I should just erase all these. Like, trying to repair those streaming lines is taking more time than just redoing them. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing to realize. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to erase a lot of those streaming lines. They just don't look great. And I gotta smudge a lot of the edges of these rockets so they look like they're moving. But so close to the end. My goodness, so close. So Kim and I are going to this birthday party for our friends who have a lot of money, and they're hiring like actors to come and do a murder mystery at their birthday party, which is insane. So it's at their house. It's not like at a place where they do murder mysteries. It's just in their house. And basically it's 90s themed. And you know how most people are going to do cute, 90s stuff with like big hair and whatever. Just like everything being kind of cute. Snap bracelets, that sort of shit. I got my outfit all together, and I have a Chicago Bulls big t-shirt jersey. I got a huge pair of Jinko jeans, and I got one of those Bugs Bunny and Taz shirts with them with their arms crossed. I am going as the most authentic version of the 90s anybody's ever seen. And I was telling Kim, I was like, when I'm in that murder mystery, I'm gonna be telling those actors straight up, like, somebody died. Most people don't make it to old age in my neighborhood. I'm gonna be all fucked up. I'm gonna be looking cool as shit. I'm gonna look like a menace. I'll have Kim take pictures of my my full outfit when I have it on. I'll put it on the Discord. It's gonna be solid. You're gonna be like, we said to dress up, not look like a complete idiot to our fancy party. Forgot how cool those Bugs Bunny and Taz shirts were. Those are great. This is how they got Justin Trudeau. No, I'm not going as a racial stereotype. Unfortunately, I'm not doing that. Mine's going to be basically all the white kids who did it. I'm just going to go as all the kids from my high school. Or at least a lot of the people that I knew from back then that dressed like that. I wasn't in high school in the 90s, but that was the biggest thing ever. Chico jeans are so insane. I had never in my life, up until I bought these, I had never worn a pair. And I put them on and I was like, holy shit. It was insane. I felt like I was just a samurai in a trailer park. It was pretty cool. Yeah, Kim got me a Kangol hat. It's pretty exciting. Oh no, not a hat. She got me like a beret. That's what it was. It's so stupid. Yeah, an upside down backwards visor would be good. Samurai in a trailer park would make a good comic. That was that thing that happened to me forever ago, which I don't think people believe me when I tell this story. A lot of you have heard it. It's that thing of when I was like 16, the girl that I was dating in high school, her sister was a translator for the Yakuza in Japan, because it's like pretty normal for people who live in Japan who are from America to become like some form of translator or teaching English. It's like an easier job to get, and she got that job, and then she started doing it for the Yakuza, and then something happened. I don't know, inevitably it went wrong, but in the middle of all that, she came back to visit and brought her boyfriend from Japan over. His name was Ryusuke, and he was a member, and he was like doing workouts and stuff all the time, and I was always like fucking around doing whatever, and this dude was always just, you know, loose, doing tons of shit. Like, he exercised in the shower all the time. Anyway, because you'd be in there forever and you just hear him. I challenged him to like a wrestling match, basically, in a trailer park, and I wrestled a member of the Yakuza in a trailer in Carver, Massachusetts. I think I'm the only person in the world who's ever done that. Ryusuke sounds like an anime protagonist. He was just a quiet dude. Who won? That dude won. That dude was so strong. He was super strong. Like, I knew he was going to be, you know, really tough. But he just destroyed me. No, he definitely exercised in the shower. He even brushed his teeth in the shower. He did everything. Everything was in the shower. Was he jacking off in there? Who knows? Is that part of the Yakuza code? I couldn't tell you. Did he have the back tat? Yeah, he had crazy tattoos. He had total disrespect for Americans. It's very funny. I thought he was funny. Okay. There you go. It's not done yet, but it's super close. As far as all the elements are concerned, they're pretty much there now. The next thing I need to do is figure out the foliage in the front, make sure that that all looks good, and then fix all the colors, which is all due to, like, you know, adjustment layers and whatnot, which won't be too difficult. So in general, it's pretty much there. It just needs to be made pretty. Yeah, cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one. That was nice. I feel like I actually accomplished what I set out to do. Finish all those stupid little tedious pieces. Now I just need to do those streams of the jets, or the missiles rather. And that's it. Okay.